So let's get more analysis on Egypt's presidential election. We're now joined by Ambassador Edward Peck. He's a former embassy officer in Egypt. He's also a former U.S. ambassador to Iraq and has served in Nixon, Carter, and Reagan administration. So you heard what our reporter Robert in Cairo said. He said, pretty much no suspense. The results are a foregone conclusion. Do you agree, sir?
Yeah, it seems like it. It's always difficult to tell. Pardon me, but it seems, one of the nice things about democratic elections is there's a chance that you can lose, as we've seen around the world. So trying to forecast the results is always tricky, but it does seem to think that all of the people who are on the ground and really know the situation think that he will win, perhaps by a wide margin.
So this is a man who, ran the military. He played a big role in Morsi's ouster. But is he the man that can bring stability to the country? I mean, he knows how to run an army, but does he know how to run a country?
There are similarities, of course, and he's had a lot of practice in dealing with the military, which, as you may remember, had some splits in it when they were trying to get rid of Mubarak a few years ago. But he also, it so much depends on who he has working with him. If he has heavy dependency on military officers, which makes a lot of sense, they may themselves have less experience than they really need to deal with a country that has gone through and is going through periods of serious instability, religious reasons, political reasons, all sorts of reasons. And to bring it back together is going to require a gift that he may have acquired when he was head of the military, because there is a lot of management experience that comes out of people who have succeeded in that kind of work.
Let's talk about Egypt's largest opposition group, Muslim Brotherhood. How much support do they still have in the country? And what does this election really mean for them?
There is probably one of the key questions, well phrased. What does it mean for them? The Ikhwan, the Brotherhood, has been up and down over the decades in Egypt, popular and less popular. There was a time not too long ago when it really seemed that they were going to be in charge for a while, and then Mr. Sisi took care of that. And they will be distressed, depending to a very large degree on how they're treated. This is what puts it back in the hands of the president. Can he work with conciliation? Can he work with flexibility and openness and so forth? Or at least give that impression politically. If he does those sorts of things, then the Ikhwan, the Brotherhood, will be less contentious, probably, than they would be otherwise.
But here's the problem, or potential problem. Both candidates have said that, Brotherhood will be out. They will not consider the Brotherhood to even be part of this. So how politically smart is that when you basically say they will not be a player? Aren't you actually making them stronger?
Yes, but of course the reason they're saying this is to get the vote from the mass of the Egyptian population that is concerned about the Brotherhood. Because, the people don't wear signs. There isn't a special coloration. How do you know if a person is in the Brotherhood or not? By the way she acts, the way he acts. But taking that stand, I think, was something that he had to, well, both of them had to do, because on the basis of what I think we both know is that the majority of the Egyptian population does not want an Islamic government. Certainly the Coptic Christians, who constitute a fairly significant minority.
It just makes you wonder how much the country is on a path to democracy when you ban a certain group.
Yes.
That's the tough question.
It's a tough question, and of course, even in the United States, we've had leanings in that direction for one reason or another at specific times in the country's history, when ethnic groups were placed on a lower pedestal, if you will, than they had been before, and perhaps after. But the only thing that you can count on, only thing that you can hope for, is that the people who are going to be in charge have some understanding of how to deal with these things, probably a better understanding than I have, for example. But it's a touchy situation, and it can go either way. That's what makes it of such importance now, given where the country is and what the country is.
Strategically so important. Thank you so much, Ambassador Peck. We appreciate your perspective.
My pleasure.